Okay.
Okay, awesome. Well, this is Traci Ybarra. She is a friend and a past client of SDG and Associates, and she is a guidance counselor at Shawnee Mission East. So, Traci, I'm going to just let you introduce yourself a little bit further and kind of maybe start with you giving us kind of a little background of everything you know so far, and then I can dive into a few questions that we might have come up with that you haven't answered yet. And if anybody wants to ask questions, you can feel free to type them in the chat box. Right, Shannon? Was that easiest chat box?
Oh, there's so.
Okay, so Traci, take it away.
Okay. I'm Traci Ybarra, and my official title is academic counselor, and I'm at Shawnee Mission East High School. Our population there is around 1,700 students. It's only my second year as a high school counselor. Before that, I was a middle school counselor for 3 years, and I've also been an elementary teacher and a gifted teacher, K-12. So I have just a variety of experience, but I'm not the end all be all for college information because there's so many colleges and every school is different. So, anyway, so what I do know as a result of COVID, starting when a lot of people have been asking about ACT, SAT, most people probably know that ACT and SAT April test dates were obviously canceled. For ACT, they were postponed. So if a student is signed up for the April test, they could take it in June. I checked on the website, June is still a go for ACT right now. I wouldn't be surprised if that should possibly get canceled. SAT has already canceled their June test date, and they don't have anything slated until September. Most Midwest, most Kansas kiddos take ACT. I have very few kids take SAT. I do have a few, but not as many. Also, both SAT and ACT are in the works for working on an at-home version of the test if need be for the fall. So I thought that will be interesting to see how that looks.
Do you know how they'll go about that yet? I mean, if they apply to do that?
I do know that AP testing is at home this year. And I couldn't even fathom how they would do that. I believe there's going to be some type of lockdown browser. Once they log in, they have 45 minutes to take the test. They are not tested over the whole year of curriculum. They're just tested up until spring break, what they've covered up until that point in the year. And it's at home. Typically, it's a 4-hour test at school, very, very high test security, as ACT and SAT are. So they will be taking it from home, which is, like I said, going to be interesting. We're assuming that colleges are going to be a little more flexible about what kind of scores they accept and award for college credit. It's only going to be a 45-minute test opposed to a 4-hour, and they're also allowing students to cancel. If they've already paid, they're giving a full refund and allowing them to cancel if they want. So I would assume, since SAT and AP are both through College Board, and College Board is the one who, like I said, is doing the AP testing from home. So I would assume that SAT would be somewhat similar, probably scaled down a lot. They're going to have to figure out the lockdown browser, meaning that once they log on, they can't surf the internet. And I just don't think there's enough time for them to, either they're going to know the content or they're not, kind of thing on the
guarantee it's the kid taking it is the right kid.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're claiming all kinds of stuff about test security and how they're gonna how they're gonna do that. I don't really know. I would have a little more information. One of our other counselors is the AP coordinator, so she's been all entrenched in that. So I don't know all the details. I just do know that it's from home. So
Okay, so question to kind of piggyback on that. So for example, my son has a college algebra class. It's not AP, but he is going to get through JUCO. Is that the same kind of difference, the credit from JUCO to transfer to KU?
Right. So that's an actual class that he's taking. So he's not going to
It's through the high school.
Right. So is he doing that online? Is it College Now? We call
Yeah, but so it's at Mill Valley, right? So he's in the math class.
Right.
He has to attend when we weren't COVID.
Right.
So how is that similar to that? I mean, because it is an actual college credit.
Right. He will receive it. So if you're an AP class, you receive college credit based on your AP score.
Right.
And if you pay for a college credit class like through JUCO, and you're taking it at your high school, so it's dual credit.
Right.
That's a little bit different. That is the grade you get in the class that transfers over to your university as that grade.
So and basically for the college algebra at least, that was based on just the test scores throughout the year. They combine those
they probably average those out.
Right. So with that being said, I mean, he just now gets to take the tests online.
Yeah.
Same difference.
Yeah. And that's going to depend on the teacher too. That's just a little bit different because it's not governed by College Board, by that huge national entity. It's more per high school, per college. And the high school teachers who are certified to teach those College Now courses, so they're the ones governing that. So it will be up to them. And so those have all moved to online, just kind of similar to like KU, all the colleges are now online. So that is similar, but yet a little bit different still because it's not governed by College Board and it's not one huge test through the whole nation that anybody who's in AP microeconomics is going to take the same AP test. So it's a little bit, he'll still obviously get his college credit because he's taking it, you've paid for the course, and he'll just get to finish it out online like all the other college students.
Okay. So in kind of relation to that, as far as seniors are concerned that are graduating and their GPA and everything like that, I mean, I know each district probably is a little bit different, but how is that going to affect the outcome here? I mean, obviously GPA is great for different areas of concentration in colleges, for resume building, yada, yada.
Absolutely. Actually, I mean, for the students this year, they're getting a lot of grace because of COVID-19. So it's actually going to, in my opinion, it's going to help them a lot because in most Johnson County districts, except for DeSoto, your third quarter grade is your final grade. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. And I know some Missouri districts are the same. So whatever those students had at third quarter, that's their grade. It cannot go down, but they do have the opportunity to bring it up.
Okay, that would be a question. What if they weren't happy with third quarter?
No, sorry, I'm gonna
oh, that's fine.
This barking dog.
It's the hazards of having to work from home. My dog has brought me 3 toys so far.
Gosh, I'm gonna put him downstairs. Come here, Chance. Only got 3 of them running around here. Go. Yeah, so take Chance. Sorry. So any kid who wants to bring up their grade can. So that's what's interesting is they just have to contact their teacher and come up with a plan on how can I raise my grade. And right now there's so much grace given. I mean, our administration is preaching that to our teachers, and it's really hard for the teachers, for some of them, because they're like, well, this kid did not show up at all in third quarter, and now you're telling me to pass him. Yeah, we are. Yeah. There's bigger things right now going on. Mm-hmm. So honestly, this is the time for kids to really redeem themselves.
Okay, but that's on those kids to go ahead and set up that plan with each instructor.
Yes,
Which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, at least it shows some gumption, right?
yeah. It's on the kid. And obviously the parent can intervene and say, hey,
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
so that is, I know that DeSoto, of course, you guys are parents in DeSoto too. There's a similar, but the student still has to participate in fourth quarter in order to keep that grade the same. And they do have an opportunity to raise it if they want, but they have to contact their teacher and whatnot. So
Okay.
I think that kids are getting a big break this year if they're a current senior. Grade-wise, GPA-wise, but otherwise they're getting the shaft.
So this isn't mandated by the state. Every district is kind of doing their thing, because I've heard some districts aren't even really continuing on. It's not a state thing. It's an individualized district thing.
Yeah, it's an individual. It's through the district. They can decide what their continuous learning plan is, and the state has recommendations.
Okay.
But I don't know of any district who is holding every student accountable for typical fourth quarter learning, because we don't know what home environments are like. We don't know, what the health of the family is. There's just so many issues that we don't know, and we can't hold students accountable for what we would have held them accountable for if they were in our classrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. So do you have any thoughts about, as far as August is concerned? I mean, what do you know to be true at this moment in time as far as 2021?
I know nothing. I wish I knew more. I'm starting to worry about it, because back in March, if it was just a given, we're going to be back in August, it'll be fine. And now I'm just hearing a little rumblings here and there about the possibility of maybe we won't be back, or maybe we'll be back in some capacity, but not a normal situation. My principal made the comment yesterday during a meeting that if we do online in the fall, that we're going to have to figure out a way to make all students accountable. It cannot be like this semester or this quarter. It'll be different. It won't be you have a free pass. It's going to be you're accountable, and that's going to be a lot more difficult. So they are talking that is a possibility. But there's absolutely nobody knows. Nobody knows at all.
So my thought too was there are a lot of, and let's just say for athletics, I know that there are tryouts that happen this time of year for the incoming school year, right? Yeah. So how do you go about that?
That's a really good question. You just don't. I mean, our coaches because our building was open for a couple weeks, and we were allowed to, like I said, sign up and go in 10 at a time, and word got out. Coaches were collecting uniforms, kids could come, and they shut that down. Nobody can go in the building now. So there's not an option for any of that right now. That's completely on the back burner, and I don't know. I mean, I hope to goodness they can have fall sports. That'd be really sad.
So no virtual tryouts that we know of?
Yeah, you know what? There are virtual cheer tryouts. I do know that.
Okay.
I do know. I have heard of virtual cheer tryouts
doing it.
But
who is?
The Chiefs.
And,
okay.
And I did see in our announcements today that, was it a soccer? It was a sports camp offered over the summer, one of our coaches. So, I mean, they're still putting out stuff as if we're going to go forward with this. Camp was held at June 22nd. So it's not like they're saying no, but I just have a feeling that it may not, go as planned, but we don't know. It's just going to depend.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm like texting people in my house, please get the dog.
Oh, that's funny. So I heard on 60 Minutes the other night, I think it was, that they're talking about how they think that this will make colleges completely different. Like 20% won't reopen, some of them will merge. I mean, do you think that's going to be the same? I mean, do you think that's true? And do you think it's going to be trickle down?
I heard that, and I don't quote me on the college, I heard, and I think it was Boston University has canceled fall, and they aren't even starting until January. And can you please make sure he quits barking or put him somewhere? Tony, can you make sure he quits barking or put him somewhere?
These are the joys of living with 4 males, right? They don't pay attention.
Yeah, but
Hashtag
come on, get the dog.
What?
Oh God. Anyway.
It's okay. Tell them we're only going to go ahead and distribute this to like everybody.
Yeah, no, please don't.
Right.
Yeah, no, I don't know. And I also read an article about the guy who wrote it was saying if you were thinking about ever having a student defer their admission to their college or take a gap year, this would be the year to do it. Just because we don't know what, I mean, do you want your incoming freshmen to not be able to live in a dorm and not have that experience and their first experience of college classes be online or somewhat compromised because of this, and that this person recommended at least considering keeping them home, having them do JUCO. If they were accepted into a big time college, those colleges usually will let you defer for a year. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. We shall see.
Well, and it'll be interesting to see if it's the same price, because the online being the same price as an in-class.
It's not the same. It's frustrating as a parent.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got kids who are, in science lab classes half the week, and now they can't do the lab, but they're expected to know the knowledge. So,
well, and there's a lot of fees that are associated with those type of classes for that when you're in the lab. I mean, the KU technology fees that are tacked on to everything, for being in there and such. So, I'll be curious to see how that plays out too.
Karen's asking how have they decided to handle graduation? Have you heard anything? Is it like a
we have not made a decision at our high school. We have not made a decision. They're hoping to have something maybe later in the summer, but if not, it's going to be some kind of virtual graduation.
And I know DeSoto had talked the same kind of if they would have an event, but it may be in the summer.
Yeah.
Maybe that allows us to have it outside for once.
Yeah. Well, we have ours outside.
Well, ours is really weather implemented,
Ours is always implemented.
And they always move us inside. So what about checkout policy? I mean, everybody's got stuff in their lockers and, all that.
Basketball uniform. I've got a basketball uniform right there on the floor.
I know, and we haven't been able to get in to get any of this stuff at Mill Valley at all.
I didn't know if you guys had set anything out yet.
Not as far as checking out, like checking in laptops. I mean, those kids will probably keep those over the summer. We were just talking yesterday. I have no idea how they're going to do senior checkout where they have to turn a lot. Because you can't turn those in right now or even in May with the germs and with the COVID and all of that. So I really don't know. And that's going to be for the people who make the big bucks to figure out.
Well, I mean, even we're using the laptops at this point.
Yeah,
we have to have them, so it's not like you can do early checkout.
Nope. Exactly. So,
are the school grounds open like they are in the summer? Do you know, like rumors that they were gonna, kids that were playing tennis, for example, or
ours are shut down. I don't know about all districts, but they were having trouble with kids gathering. So
Okay.
Shawnee missions are shut down. I think they allow people to walk on the track as long as they're social distancing, but kids were gathering for soccer and baseball, and I know that they started having police go out and break it up. So, and warned that they could be cited, given a citation and a pretty hefty fee. So that shut that down pretty quickly, I think. Yeah, it's just crazy.
What other?
And then,
Oh, go ahead, Michele. Sorry.
oh, I was just thinking about, and I don't have this, I'm not super sure if it's already happened or not, but like incoming freshmen, I mean, is that something?
Well, the good thing is they're already enrolled. We've already done that. We've already met with all of them. We do that pretty early on in January and February. So we've got their courses put in. They're all set and good to go. So they're just like any other student. The only difference is the ones who are maybe coming from a private school or another school who haven't enrolled yet. So we're just putting that off until August, which is fine. Yeah. So it'd be just like a new student coming in to enroll. But all of the current middle school students coming into Shawnee Mission East are already enrolled. So the only thing they have is that one day of that I think every district has is the day before the first school that they go to. So
well, and if we don't even know if it's going to be open for anybody, so
exactly. There's just no answers yet on that.
Okay. And then just to make sure, I mean, as far as like, you're not super familiar with the college start. I mean, you haven't heard anything about college, incoming college freshmen.
I mean,
KU orientation, K-State, that kind of stuff. Just their basic.
I know that as far as summer orientations, I haven't heard. I know that they're doing online tours and that kind of thing now. If you want to sign up for a tour, it's a virtual.
We signed up for a June 3rd one, so I was kind of curious. We're supposed to be in person, but
yeah, I don't know about that. And like I said, every school's different, but I think everybody's just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen. So
wait and see.
Yep.
Do we have any chat questions? We got the last one for graduation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is all basically every state is on its own.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've read a lot. I'm on a couple Facebook groups with school counselors throughout the nation, and everybody's posting the same questions. What are you doing for your seniors? What about graduation? So I think everybody's just trying to figure it out. It's just, there's no perfect solution for any of it. I'm trying to look at my notes to see if there's anything we did not cover.
Yeah.
I don't think there is.
You got my list.
So yeah, and I know ACT you can just keep checking websites, because I don't know about that June test, if they're going to end up doing that or not.
And so I mean, obviously you would get a refund if you didn't want to take it, or if you decided that.
I'm sure. I don't know about ACT and SAT. I'm sure they would give you a refund. I can't imagine that they aren't. I do know AP for a fact. AP is doing refunds, full refunds, and they are issuing them. Basically, what you have to do is just don't take your test, and then the refund comes after that. So.
Okay. And then you had mentioned briefly about the possible test optional to get in. Like let's just say if I had even a senior getting ready to start college who takes an ACT and not the score they needed yet, not yet. We were going to take it one more time to see if we could get there, but now there's no options. So is there a way around that for anybody that might be in that position?
I would say contact your school, contact the head of that school of business or whatever department it is, and explain the situation. I don't know if they're offering, I mean, I have found KU's been very lenient and easy to work with as far as expectations and working with the students. So I don't know. on that, if they will or won't. I know admission wise, as far as
that's what I'm,
school, then yes. I mean, because they work with you even in not the situation. So
yeah.
as far as scholarship awarding, I doubt they would work with you on that because they have those set based on ACT and GPA. But as far as admission into the school itself, yes, I'm sure they would, because they do that anyway.
But each individual,
Well, if business, I don't know.
Yeah,
that part I don't.
concentrations, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, we certainly thank you for getting on here and helping us to kind of navigate through the waters.
All our curiosity questions.
Yeah, and like I said, most of the things I'm dealing with are so school specific, and every school's different. But you know, a lot of kids asking about AP. I know that because I think we give over 800 AP tests. Well, I think 930 this year. So we have a huge AP kiddo population. So that's been a big concern at our school. But and like I said, most of our kids are pretty well on top of things. So their ACT was already set and they've already been accepted and going. And so
half your population is AP at East?
Probably at least half. I mean, we're giving 900 tests, but that doesn't mean some kids are taking multiple tests. So that's not, I mean, our AP kids take 3 or 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and some of them are sophomores because some sophomores, you know, so it's hard to, I wouldn't know a percentage, but I just know we give a whole lot of tests.
A lot of tests.
Yes. So.
Different than one that was in 1990. Awesome.
Yeah, and different than small town. I think Wellington they offered 1 AP class when we left. I think they're up to 2 or 3 now. So that's crazy.
That's what Emporia was.
Yeah. So
we all turned out okay.
Yep, I think so. All right. Any other questions?
No?
I think it's no chat questions at this time. So, well, thank you, Traci. We certainly appreciate the information you shared with us.
No problem. Sorry about the animal interruptions.